So today we're doing sushi trials, and our chef Adolfo, he has an amazing background from all different culinary traditions, and one of the places that he's worked has been in different Asian food restaurants. He's made sushi before, and we've never done sushi here at Superstition, with the exception of our beet nigiri. That is one thing I can claim to have invented. So we roast golden beets on the fire, and we serve it as a vegetarian option. That was on our first menu we ever came up with, and over the last year and a half of being open here, we've changed some of our menu items, kept some favorite things, tried some new stuff, but we're going to bring back the beet nigiri as part of a pop-up sushi menu. And one of the things that defines this place and makes it the only place of its kind in the world is that we're sitting in the world's only mead and food pairing restaurant. And so I'm looking at the menu, our potential menu for sushi right now, and I'm trying to connect in my head what sesame miso puree and kobayaki sauce and wasabi aioli and pickled ginger and the different fish and the rice, the avocado we're going to do as far as how they play together in a roll, or how the beet nigiri is going to work out because I haven't had it in a long time, or how we're trying like a new kind of rice with sushi rice. We have all of these cool things happening, and I want to be prepared to have a selection of meads to try, and ciders for that matter, while I'm going through this process of doing what we call menu trials. And it really kind of mirrors the process of what we do in mead making, where we do bench trials, and we'll take a brand new concept and a stir plate and some ingredients or a coffee pot. There's all these different things we can do to, in a very short, expedited way, make a mead with a new flavor that's infused literally on a lab bench. That's why we call them bench trials, and just try them. And we know it's not exactly what it'll be in the end, but it gives us a really good idea as mead makers. So right now, we're doing a similar process with the kitchen. Right now, the kitchen's back there. They're preparing these different sushi options, and my job is to see how they taste, because I have a little bit of insight into how that may work out. But I need to choose some meads and ciders that could potentially go with these different flavor profiles. So right now, I think flamingo croquet, I don't know if it's going to work, but it goes with so many things. So I'm going to definitely try a shot of that. That's organic Arizona apple ciders and red hatch chilies. So a ciders, when you have, it's an apple mead, right? So cider is a cider made from apples. Cider is like our word for an apple mead. So we're going to try that out. I think that some carbonation could be really good. I don't know about Tahitian honeymoon on this, but I want to try Juiciest Caesar. That's going to give me some grapefruit and hops. Desert Monsoon, I think, could be really cool to try. Barrel-aged Electric Sunrise, I think we're going to do a can of that. And, well, maybe a spirit aphrodisiac could work with like a poke bowl. So I think I will try something that's really nice and balanced, like our gin barrel-aged aphrodisiac. Who knows? Night Moves is fun. It's a sparkling blackberry session piment. So we've got wine grapes and blackberries together, but it's a little bit lower ABV. It's 8%. I think that might be fun to try with some sushi. So right now I'm up to 6 different things. And I mean, our piquette piments may work. I mean, Mimosa may even work. I think we should try that. And moving on to some other specialty meads. I think it would be nice to try some traditional meads to see how they work out. Our Brittle Bush Blossom, that's fantastic. Award-winning mead. The Pioneer Blend. Crucifixion Thorn's pretty unique, so I think trying a couple of traditionals to see if it works would be cool. Peach or Creature, that could be kind of fun. And Zenko. Zenko would be poetic justice, because we used peaches and nectarines from the Masamoto farm, which is a family that grows some of the very best, most highly regarded fruit in the Central Valley of California. So I think trying the Masamoto nectarines and peaches is going to be good. We also happen to age those in a port barrel. So, all right, we've got 6 on the back, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the front. There's nothing wrong with 7. Let's see how these are going to work out when it comes to pairing with our sushi options. So I'm going to go take this to our staff and see if I can get a flight. Would you please pour me 2 flight boards of these? I think I chose 13 things.
Do you want the cannabis?
The cannabis?
The can of it?
Yes, the can of this. Yes.
I can do cannabis too. Let me just go back home real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to eat all the sushi really quick. Cool. Yeah, that would be great to crack it. So yeah, a can of that, and then the flight of 12 things would be fantastic.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Interesting. The first sushi roll that we're gonna try is a surf and turf roll. We've got some American Wagyu that's been lightly torched on top of grilled asparagus and, oh man, that snow crab looks amazing. We've got some chives, we've got some avocado in here. We have microgreens on top and a miso paste. That's a perfect sushi roll. There's so much flavor that's happening. The miso paste is a little sweet. The meat just dissolves in your mouth. And then that chive and you can tell that asparagus it's kind of fried and smoky. So there's this like smoky aftertaste that's happening that is evocative of what you would think you would get from the meat, but really it's like that miso paste working together with the vegetables that are cooked on the inside. So I'm gonna have one more of these, and I'm even gonna try with a little bit of wasabi, because sometimes that may lead us to a discovery in these meads and ciders to see what we like. That's not bad. The wasabi and the flamingo croquet is actually kind of nice. I like the apple in there a lot, and the chili goes with the little bit of spice that's happening. But Desert Monsoon, totally different. It reflects the savoriness of this miso paste. And it kind of goes with the vegetables, but I'm on the fence there. Juicy as Caesar, grapefruit and hops and honey. That is really nice with the microgreens and the vegetables on the inside, but it just hides the smokiness. It comes back after a sip. So it's going with some of it, just like Desert Monsoon's jiving with some of the flavors. All right, gin barrel aged aphrodisiac. Now that's gonna go with the smoky characteristic I'm getting out of here, but I don't know if it's gonna go with the asparagus and what might be a little bit of spiciness from this wasabi. That's pretty good. The gin barrel aging, gin is very aromatic. Botanicals go into gin to define it as a spirit. And I think that the botanicals inside of this red wine that you wouldn't normally associate with like something you'd have with sushi, but it goes with the smokiness, it goes with the miso, the different microgreens and that fried asparagus go with the element I'm picking out of the botanicals from the gin barrel. And then the meat goes with the red grapes that we use for that. Now this is totally different. Peach or creature. So we've got peaches, stone fruits jumping out, sea salt. And let's try a little bit of soy sauce, because let's see if the salt from the soy sauce is gonna mesh with that peach or creature sea salt. I think that's it. Wow. It's a big mead. It's semi-sweet to sweet. And it stands up to all of the flavors that are coming out of this surf and turf roll. and it complements the smokiness. I think we've got a winner with Peacher Creature. And I think that some of the other lighter and effervescent products that we're gonna try are gonna go better with some of the sashimi and maybe even the poke bowl. I think Peacher Creature is a perfect pairing with the surf and turf roll. Wow. I'm gonna try Zenko just for the heck of it though. I think that would be down here. That's really nice. Gosh, that is changing as it sits in the bottle too. That is really integrating. So, peach, grapefruit hops, peach nectarine in a port barrel. This sort of cleans the palate better than this, and that sort of coats the palate. I still think Peacher Creature is a better pairing, but that is very light and beautiful. You couldn't go wrong with either of those. And while I made some selections earlier on what I thought could go with this, I never really envisioned stone fruit and honey being something that goes with a surf and turf roll, but it works. And let's try something else. All right. One of my favorites, Lagermaster de Oro, bourbon barrel aged mead. This batch happened to pull a lot of vanilla out of the staves. I'm not even gonna eat it with it. It's a delicious mead, but I don't think it's gonna go with this. This is a crucifixion thorn traditional mead, and it has a unique botanical flavor and a minerality, but this might work. It's also a very nice pairing. It complements and then cleans the palate just like Zenko did. But I can still taste that, the rice, the miso, the soy sauce. And I think Peacher Creature is the one. It stands up to this big, bold roll. All right, I'm gonna write that down. Let's try Electric Sunrise, and this is barrel-aged Electric Sunrise, Sangiovese grapes. It's fun, but the Peacher Creature with this really works to elevate everything beyond what they would do on their own. And even though some of these things really go nicely with this dish and even kind of make it disappear so you can get back to having the dish, the most like complimentary one is going to be Peacher Creature with the surf and turf roll. Well, it's time to try our next sushi roll, but that is a winner. All right, so now we're going to try some nigiri. We've done something different where we've taken our coconut forbidden rice and blended it with sushi rice in order to have something that we feel like looks amazing, and I've never tried it before, so we're gonna see how this goes. So we're gonna start off with some yellowtail nigiri with a tobiko roe. We also have a Hawaiian ponzu sauce. Get a little bit of that on there. Wow, the rice works. It's still sticky and crunchy and fun. There we go. That yellowtail was flawless. Just melt in your mouth sushi. Let me try this sauce by itself. Ginger, citrus. I think the yellowtail with Juicy Caesar, that's a winner. Let's try mimosa. That works too. That's a little bit on the sweeter side. I think Juicy Caesar is going to work on that. All right. Now we have otoro. When you look at sushi, or even when you look at a steak, when you see white lines going through it, that's fat. And otoro is from the belly of the tuna. It's considered to be one of the finest cuts of sushi you could possibly have for its richness. That tobiko smells nice. All right, I'm gonna try this without that dipping sauce because I happen to love otoro. Wow. It's just this side of smoky. The rice, again, it's fun and crunchy. It's a little more substantial than a lot of sushi rice that you get. And again, the fish, the quality that we've been able to source just melts in your mouth. I think this gin barrel-aged aphrodisia works really nice. I think that some of our other spirit barrel-aged aphrodisias, minus vermouth, that would be overpowering, but the rum, the bourbon, and this gin go really nice with that otoro. Wow. That's fun. All right. Now, we have some bluefin, same tobiko roe. Try a little bit of this Hawaiian ponzu on there. Oh, that is beautiful. That basil leaf is so cool. I've never had that flavor in sushi before, and it totally goes. But I happen to, I could eat caprese every day, so admittedly, basil, pesto, that's some of my favorite flavors. I'm gonna crack this Astral Reef and see how that's gonna work out with that bluefin. We pressed wine grapes, and instead of throwing them away, we rehydrated them with honey and apple cider together. And it made this beautiful piquette sizer. Wow, that is awesome with the bluefin. All right, you need to write that down as well. This looks like a really nice, fatty piece of salmon nigiri. There's a citrus component in there. And I think that the mimosa, the sweetness of this mimosa-inspired orange mead that looks and smells and drinks just like a mimosa with champagne and orange juice. Nice and bubbly, effervescent. Really goes nice with that. And that would be the order I would want to have that presentation in. Mimosa on the end with the salmon. That is fantastic. All right, so we have our Poke Vita bowl, right? Like Poke's life. And we have some spicy tuna, we've got salmon, we've got yellowtail, we've got some pickled vegetables, seaweed salad, we've got sweet potato chips, and we've got some sushi rice with furikake Japanese seasoning. I'm gonna try a bite out of all of this and then try and make up my mind on where to go down this flight. There's a few things more satisfying than getting into sushi or ceviche or anything that's raw food and having it just melt like butter and be full of flavor. That is a beautiful, like medium fatty yellowtail, and we have this spicy aioli on there. That is fantastic. And then the salmon is bright and citrusy. There's like the flavor of lemongrass that's working between this Hawaiian sauce that we have going on there. Wow, that is fantastic. It's just so bright and lively. Spicy tuna Honestly, got a little bit of this furikake and seaweed thing going on there, and it is spicy in a fun way. I think that is going to go with flamingo croquet. That's ridiculous. Flamingo croquet with the hatch chilies and the apple totally goes with that spicy tuna. It's not going to really go, I mean, it'll be all right, but it's not going to be amazing with this yellowtail. See how these sweet potato chips are working. Sweet, salty, that's going to go with a mead that's sweet with sea salt. That is perfect. Peach or creature, and those chips are great. All right. Seaweed salad. Anything that green has to be good for you. It's sweet. We have sesame seeds in there. Barrel-aged electric sunrise and seaweed salad. Who would have thought Sangiovese grapes aged in mead barrels would somehow work with seaweed salad? It's amazing. All right, get a little bit of this hearty rice in here. It's herbal, it's minerally, it's salty. And it's light. It's fun with Astro Reef. I don't know if that's a perfect pairing, but that's fun. I'm thinking maybe a traditional mead. So back to crucifixion thorn. This honey is super unique. It has a very woody character. That's it. The crucifixion thorn with that furikake seaweed can have a woodiness to it, which is counterintuitive, but that totally works. And then the pickles, who knows? It's a very balanced pickling that we've done in the kitchen with these cucumbers and carrots. And in a very, very strange and satisfying way. Desert monsoon with that funkiness of prickly pears that kind of reminds me a little bit of like a really ripe papaya flavor. Goes with this mellow, balanced pickling. I'm gonna try a couple of things together. Nice fatty yellowtail, the spice of the tuna, the citrus lemongrass flavor going on with the salmon. To envision just mixing this all up and getting some random bites. There's a little heat that's popping from that tuna, but it's so just rewarding from that smooth, silky, fatty fish flavor that's happening. I think if I had just one thing, like going through a flight and trying these different flavors would be a super cool experience. But if I had a single product to go with this Poke Vita bowl, it'd be Barrel Aged Electric Sunrise. It's carbonated and effervescent, which helps cleanse the palate, but the flavor that you get right from the beginning, or the attack if you're evaluating wine, through the mid palate to the finish, it's savory, there's a little bit of wood. I mean, one of the most complex things we've ever done in a can for sure. And it just goes with, it plays with everything here. The sweet and salty chips, the spicy tuna, balanced pickling with seafood salad. That's it. Barrel Aged Electric Sunrise for the Poke Vita bowl. Wow. Cheers.